Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another Call of Duty Warzone video. In this video we're going to compare the Fennec that has been released with Season 4 to the MP5, which is currently the best SMG in the game, to see how this new gun stacks up. This video is going to cover the stats and the general feel of both of the weapons. Before we start, 97% of you are not subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that 97%, make sure you hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with absolutely everything regarding Season 4. After playing with the Fennec for a while, you realise that it's a high rate of fire gun with a really high recoil pattern. The mobility is great and the iron sights are pretty clean too, but how does it stack up against the MP5? The stats that you see on the screen here have been partly calculated by myself and also partly taken from the exclusive ace. Taking a look at the Fennec without any attachments, we can see that the headshot damage is between 40 and 24 health points. The body shot damage is 25 health points up close, 20 further away, and then it drops off to 18 and 15. At 1,111 rounds per minute, the rate of fire for the Fennec is the best in the game and what keeps it very competitive in the SMG category. This now sets the time to kill with 100 health points with the Fennec at 162 milliseconds, which is just a little bit longer than the MP5. The aim down sight time is just a little bit slower at 120 milliseconds, and the magazine capacity is 25, comparing it to the 30 with the MP5. Now the reload time with the Fennec is slightly longer at 2.97 seconds, with the MP5 being at 1.70 seconds. However, this could just be an error in calculation because this is something I had to calculate myself and the different ways me and the exclusive ace calculate reload times. That's just something to keep in mind, but from playing with both of these guns, I think the reload times are very similar. The Fennec in general does play really well. I think it is disadvantaged with that low magazine size however, but this can be fixed with attachments. And due to its damage drop off, I would never recommend using the Fennec at anything above medium range, but that can be said for pretty much all submachine guns. Let's take a look at the recoil pattern for both the Fennec and the MP5. Now the recoil for the Fennec goes up and to the left, whereas the recoil for the MP5 goes up and to the right very slightly. Of course the Fennec has a higher rate of fire, so it kicks a lot more, especially to that left side, so it definitely has the worst recoil pattern out both of the weapons. Now, in terms of the hipfire spread, I believe both the MP5 and the Fennec have really good hipfire accuracy because they are close-range submachine guns. With my experience playing with the Fennec, it does have a tough recoil pattern to control. However, you should not be using this weapon for anything longer than medium-range gunfights, and within those ranges, it's definitely easy to control. But of course, controlling that recoil can be done with the right attachments, so let's take a look at what attachments would be best suited to the Fennec as well as the MP5. On the screen here we have everyone's favourite MP5 loadout, which has the monolithic suppressor, the Merc foregrip, the 45 round mags, the TAC laser and the F-TAC collapsible stock. So we tried a very similar loadout with the Fennec, so we had the ZLR suppressor, which worked slightly better than the monolithic suppressor in this case. We had the rubberized grip, the 40 round mags, the Merc foregrip and the TAC laser. Because of the MP5's faster kill time, I just think that the Fennec has a really tough time trying to beat the MP5, especially when everyone's already used to playing with it. It's definitely a welcome addition to the submachine gun category and is probably the second best weapon at up close and personal engagements to the MP5. Some people may prefer the higher fire rate as it's more forgiving, similar to the M13 inside the assault rifle category. Now taking a look at the recoil patterns with the attachments now added, I have added the Merc foregrip to reduce that vertical recoil, and as you can see with the Fennec, it didn't really make too much of a difference. The recoil pattern with the MP5 is still better, and the hipfire accuracy also with the MP5 is still better. This is not to say the Fennec's a bad gun. The Fennec can be very useful if you know how to control the recoil, but I just feel that most people will opt for the lower recoil MP5 in most cases. Only time will tell with the Fennec. There's probably attachment combinations out there that I've not tested yet, but I don't think this is taking over the MP5 anytime soon. In this case, however, I definitely recommend trying out anyway, as it is a free gun in the battle pass and you may prefer the higher rate of fire. I do think it's a very close second to the MP5, especially at close range. But at this current moment, if you're deciding on leveling up the Fennec or not, I'd probably stick with the MP5. Let me know in the comments how you're enjoying Season 4 and what you think about the Fennec down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with what's happening in Season 4. and we will be comparing more guns in the future, so definitely subscribe for that. But that has been all for today's video, and thank you very much for watching.